Well, I was raised by my second cousins, which I consider my mom. They raised me from pretty much day one. I don't know my biological parents at all. It kind of clicked when I transitioned into foster care. Being transitioned into foster care, I wasn't, a clueless child, I will say. I was aware that, because it was my decision, I have to say yay or nay to go to foster care. When you can speak, you can talk, you understand what's going on, you have to say yay or nay. And going to foster care, they ask you, do you understand what's going on? Yes, I do. I didn't ask my mom, why am I going to foster care? I didn't ask my foster mom, why am I in foster care? I just learned to understand it in my own mind. I think there's a certain point where you learn to create who you are, and you are going to be who you are. And I think for me, I did it at a young age, while some people might grasp it at, their early teens, their later teens. So again, I joined the Marine Corps 2007. Reasoning just to experience war, just to get away from the city that I lived in, and just find a sense of just who I am. And I felt I would learn all that in the Marine Corps. 11 Marines or 10 Marines went in, 3 Afghan National Army. I had my junior Marine at the door, and me and him were holding outer security because everyone went inside, so they have internal security. And I didn't like the setup that we were in, so I was like, hey, I moved him kind of more in the doorway to give him more cover. That way he can see everything but without being vulnerable. And I was like, hey, I'll be right back. Again, this is a hallway, narrow hallway, and I took 3 steps into this room. The ID went off. So when that happened, it was kind of a quick alteration of how I viewed life. It was just like, it could end now, it could not end now, but there was instant regret, not necessarily regret, but I will use the word regret of, I wish I did these certain things in life, and I wish I wasn't this type of shy kid, and I wish I did or said these things immediately as I'm laying there, not knowing if I'm going to live or die. Not telling my mom I love her more. I felt like I could have told her I loved her more, because it wasn't necessarily just like I didn't hate her, I didn't do it, nothing like that, nothing in a negative sense. Just I felt like I could have said a lot more than what I did. And then I think it's just, other than that, it was just, I grew up very shy, just very to myself, very introverted. And I kind of wish I did a lot more things and experienced a lot more. As I felt when I was laying there, I felt like I turned down a lot more to be by myself rather than experience a lot more of a life. So those are the 2 things that I can remember right now that I regretted in a sense.
Do you still regret those things?
No, because I tell my mom I love her every time I talk to her, and then I've done more in my life now than I would have ever done not being blown up. So it's a very life altering, because at this point I've climbed the highest mountain in Antarctica. I've competed against the fastest people in the Paralympic on the track. I've ran a marathon. I've done multiple runs. I've inspired many people. Done a lot more in the last 5 years than I did my whole life combined.